Hello everyone, Seraphin here. I thought I might mix things a little bit up today. Rather than continue on with Fire Emblem, well I'm still going to continue with Fire Emblem, we're going to mix things up a little and add something different today. And as you obviously just saw, this is a Metroid game. This is one of my favorite platforming series, and this is the very first Metroid game that I ever played, actually. Yeah, just like Fire Emblem, it is also on the Game Boy Advance. Some of you already know what this is, but I'm not going to spoil it, not until this little cutscene is over anyway. I wonder where we could be headed. Oh, that looks like an asteroid field. Well, that's not cool. Yes, here we have it. This is Metroid Fusion, my favorite Metroid game. As you can see, I've played this one a fair bit. That being said, we are going to start off with a brand new file today rather than starting from a completed one. This is going to be a 100% completion run, meaning that I will be collecting all of these weapon and health tanks in the game. And this is actually chronologically the last Metroid game in the series. Not in terms of release, but in terms of the story timeline. And I am going to do a little... I'm going to kind of narrate the overview here, just so you have an idea of what's happening. And this is Samus reading this. Samus Aran. I know it's technically pronounced Samus. I don't care. I've always called her Samus ever since I played the first Super Smash Bros. So here is in Samus's voice. You can read along in your own, however you want to read it. I'd been assigned to watch over Biologics research team, so I once again found myself on the surface of SR-388. This would be SR-388 here. And there is Samus. But what in the heck is that? It was there that I was attacked by a life form I had never encountered before. It was only later that I learned the identity of my attacker, the parasitic organism we now know as X. Unaware of my condition, I was returning to the station when disaster struck. Once the X had infested my central nervous system, I lost consciousness and my ship drifted into an asteroid belt. Yeah, we did see that just a few minutes ago, actually. The ship's emergency systems automatically ejected the escape pod. Before impact, Biologics vessel recovered it and transported me to Galactic Federation HQ. However, during the journey, the X multiplied within me, corrupting large areas of my power suit. It then came to light that the organic components of my suit, power suit that is, had become so integrated with my system that it could not be removed while I was unconscious. Large portions of my suit had to be surgically removed, dramatically altering my physical appearance. However, the X in my central nervous system were too embedded to be removed safely. I was given a minimal chance of survival. Then, someone found a cure. They proposed using a Metroid cell to make an anti-X vaccine. It seemed that the Federation had managed to preserve a cell culture from the last infant Metroid from SR-388. The serum was prepared and injected without delay. The X parasites were immediately and completely destroyed. Seems awfully lucky, doesn't it? As for me, one life ended, yet I survived, reborn, as something different. Pondering this fact, I realize I owe the Metroid hatchling my life twice over. This is Samus's ship's computer speaking here. We'll soon be arriving at the BSL research station. I must prepare for docking. The ship's computer has notified me of our approach to the Biologic Space Labs, or BSL, research station. During my surgery, the research team sent the last batch of creatures we captured there, as well as the infected pieces of my power suit. After regaining consciousness, I learned that an unexplained explosion rocked the station. For some reason, this awoke a nameless fear in my heart, and now I am being sent there to investigate. My mission on the BSL station will be overseen by my new ship's computer. Following the commands of this blunt, computerized CO is something I have to bear, as it was a condition of my taking the ship. For someone who dislikes taking orders, this is the second time I've found myself having to do so. It makes me recall my other CO. So chronologically, again, this is actually the latest in the Metroid timeline, so this takes place after, for example, Super Metroid, if you're familiar with that one. I believe Super Metroid was immediately preceding this, not just in terms of chronological timeline order, but also in terms of release. And here we get the map of the station. There's been an explosion in the quarantine bay. The bay currently stores capsules containing recent samples from SR-388, as well as parts of your suit infected by the X parasites. The cause of the explosion is yet unclear. Investigate. The quarantine bay is here. Move quickly and quietly. You are still unable to use most of your latent abilities. Don't forget that, Samus. Stop at the navigation room on the way. Uplink from there. Is your objective clear? Yes. Now, get to the quarantine bay. Alright, so here we are. Samus does look a little bit different than you're probably used to if you've played a Metroid game before. She does not have her characteristic large, round pauldrons on her armor, her power suit. It's very streamlined and slimmed down a bit because, as I mentioned in the cutscene at the beginning, she had to have a lot of it removed surgically. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with exactly what the power suit is or does, but it turns out it's something that Samus can more or less control and summon by force of will. So the fact that it had to be removed from her while she was unconscious is kind of interesting. Now I'm going up here to show you that there's these colored doors we can't quite get through yet. And there's also this gray one we can't get. The reason for that is because the door levels need to be unlocked for us to open those. So for right now we can only go through hatches you see here that are already open. And here's the navigation room. The quarantine bay is ahead. Biosigns are confirmed. Be careful. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain to you guys how a platformer works. This is just us running and jumping and shooting around, and I don't have the ability to crouch in here and go yet, so pretty straightforward for the most part. This Metroid game is a little bit more, I'm not going to say linear, because that's not expressly true, but starting out it does feel that way a little bit. However, in terms of the story, this game is easily my favorite. So if we kill that enemy, it's going to spawn a little parasite and we can absorb those. And as you'll see here, this looks like some sort of storage tank or stasis tank has been blown apart. A lot of damage in here. This game differs from most Metroid titles in that it retains the same running and shooting action platforming aspect of the same series, but this is more of a... this likes to intertwine a little bit of horror elements as well, and some thriller and suspense elements. And you'll get a lot of that with the music and with the atmosphere. And I like that a lot. This is unfortunate news. The specimens brought back by the field team were infected with X parasites. The X can mimic its prey. Any specimen could have hosted it. Before the explosion, a security sensor scanned one. The gelatinous X parasites invade and rapidly reproduce, killing the host creature. Like the cordyceps virus, they also absorb DNA and use it to mimic the host. You were almost killed by an X infection, only the Metroid vaccine saved your life. Yes, we know that. It seems Metroids were the main predators of the X, so that's awfully convenient. That's why the vaccine worked so quickly and so well. But it has also changed your cellular makeup. You will never be infected by an X again. In fact, you can now absorb any free-floating X parasites without a host by merely touching them. This will allow you to replenish health and restore weapons. They may also restore latent abilities this way, so pursue free X parasites wherever you possibly can. The station is home to many species, some violent ones. You must keep the X out of the breeding environments at all costs. This is vital, Samus. I'm already detecting massive biosigns in this region. The X are gathering. This may be our chance to exterminate them, but you are only at 10% battle capacity. Your chance of survival is extremely low. Well, that's not good. The Federation needs you alive and on duty, Samus. Is your objective clear? Well, kind of, but not really. You told me it was really low chance of survival, but... Now, get going. I've released the lock on level 0 hatches. Those are the gray ones. Look for the blinking hatches. So when we see blinking hatches, that means we can shoot them and open them. And we need to go up this way. So here you see the blinking hatch. We can shoot that and open it. Starting out, I don't have any real abilities with Samus other than just jumping and shooting, and I don't have a charge beam or anything like that yet, so... Here's the save room. I'm just going to save real quick. I'm going to keep these episodes a bit shorter than my Fire Emblem ones, only because they're a little more quick and easy to get through, so I think around 15 minutes should be long enough. Let me know if you guys think that's a good time. Or these little guys. This thing, however, we can't quite get through. We can't even damage it with our beam, so we're just going to proceed upward through here. Here's another navigation room. I have received news from HQ. They can support you with downloadable weapons data. Once you have this data, you'll be able to use missiles. Perfect. This will help against some enemies your beam can't hurt, kind of like that thing we just shot at a second ago. Head to the data room for the download. The data room is here. Which is convenient, because that's where we're going. Is your objective clear? Yeah, sure. With missiles, your chance of survival climbs to 20%. Well, that's a marked increase, I guess. Still not great odds, but... And we can't get through here because there's an oddly positioned power conduit that's tied up in the way, so... So those yellow parasites that we're picking up when we kill those guys, they will restore 10 energy per pickup. And as you can see, my life bar is on the top left there, energy 99. The computer reminds me of a gruff Federation CO I served under named Adam Malkovich. He called me Lady on missions. From anyone else, it would have sounded sarcastic, but Adam made it sound dignified. Out of respect and with some irony, I named the computer after him. They actually introduce Adam Malkovich in Metroid Other M for the Wii, and I know a lot of people who are fans of the Metroid series are not fans of that game. However, I have played that one, and I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people think it ruined Samus's character, and the gameplay isn't Metroid-like, and they're kind of right in that respect. It's different, but it's only because it was developed by Team Ninja, the same guys that do Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive beach volleyball and that and whatnot, but I thought it was very fun. And I also like the story, even though some people claim that Samus is not who she's supposed to be. I disagree. I think it's just fine. So, take that how you will. Here's the data room, and we're gonna biomechanically download missile data. Never understood how that made any sense. So now we can hold R and fire to shoot missiles. And as you can see, I have a finite number of them. I can only hold 10. So I want to use them sparingly as possible. And the power just went out. Mostly. Electrical interference has knocked out the elevators on the main deck. This may be related to the X. I'll work on it. How? You're a computer. Never mind. As for you, try to find another way to the target. It's located here. I'm reading huge biosigns, so I hope your missiles work. To reload missiles, you can use a recharge room or absorb a special type of X parasite. You'll see the X parasite is highlighted green, meaning that the green ones we pick up will restore missiles. You'll see them. Try it out. Is your objective clear? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Missiles are your only hope. Don't hesitate to use them. Now, find a way to the target. Alright, so we're going to head up and find our way to the target, but we're actually going to do that next time. So, on the next episode, we'll continue the intrigue, and we'll go find out just what's hiding over there. So, for now, thank you for joining me. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, Internet.